6 regions, 1 Nebraska. A new initiative aimed at increasing local cooperation aimed at improving economic development. KNEB.TV News starts right now.
From your trusted source for news in western Nebraska and eastern Wyoming, this is KNEB.TV News. Presented by Platte Valley Companies, premier provider of financial services.
Hello, I'm Ryan Murphy. This is KNEB.TV News, powered by Platte Valley Companies. Thanks for joining me. And our top story, nearly 100 representatives of business, education, and other facets of Panhandle life gathered at the Gehring Civic Center Monday for the inaugural area meeting of the newly created 6 Regions, 1 Nebraska initiative. The goal of the effort is to catalyze cooperation among communities so regional partnerships become the norm for how Nebraska pursues economic development. Governor Jim Pillen said it would be a significant shift in thinking.
I think that my generation probably spent too much time competing against each other. One Nebraska, the goal is that we think a little differently, that we focus on competing together. Whatever is good in one community is going to be great for the other community, and we continue to grow and enhance and learn from each other.
Western Region Co-Chair Zach Karpf of Platte Valley Companies told the reporters at the conference that the shift in focus is exciting.
There's some things that work very well in the metropolitan areas of the state that don't work well here. There's things that work well here that don't work well there. And so to me, it's about identifying those things, playing to our strengths, and making sure that we're doing something for our region that helps us economically and makes it more likely that our kids and grandkids can come back to this area and have very productive and happy lives.
Roberta Pinkerton with the State Economic Development Department told reporters the nature of economic development has changed significantly over the years.
We were heavily involved in recruiting business, finding sites for businesses to move to, and we were really focused on bringing those primary jobs into the state, and all the rest of it would just happen. That's not the way it works anymore. Economic development has become so broad that we now have to talk about housing. Where are these people going to live when they come into your communities? Is there childcare? Is it a community where where people want to come and live?
$3 million in state funds was appropriated for the 3-year program, with unique navigators in each region to help coordinate economic development efforts towards a project that would have local and regional impact. The Nebraska Chamber and State Economic Development Department are assisting in the effort, with co-chairs Owen Palm and Zach Karpf leading in the region that corresponds to the WNCC service area. Well, today marks the first day of Nebraska's 10-day selling period for fireworks, but officials are putting safety first before retailers can begin. Yesterday, City of Scottsville Fire Prevention Officer Chris Perales Jr. was making the rounds for inspections. He tells KNEB News what in particular he was looking for before signing off.
Yeah, so what I'm looking for on the fireworks stands and just stores in general is make sure they're under the 1.4 or they're at the 1.4 grams, nothing more for the explosive size of fireworks. I make sure there's nothing illegal like the lanterns and the wire sparklers, and make sure that they have fire extinguishers and they're readily available, and that there's a way to exit in and out of the building safely in the event of an emergency. He
estimates there's about 8 outlets within city limits that will be selling fireworks in 2024, including the 2 brick and mortars on either side of town. We'll have more news right after this.
Looking for free instead of fees? Platte Valley Bank can help you keep your finances moving forward with no ATM fees. Whether you're headed to the lake, the mountains, or just to the grocery store, you can enjoy the freedom of free ATM access anywhere, anytime. Platte Valley Bank. You belong here.
Tri-City Stormwater would like to remind parents and kids that after all the fireworks have gone off, take time to pick up and clean your litter. Without your help, firework packaging and paper can clog our storm drains, and the residual metals and toxic chemicals enter and pollute our waterways. Fireworks are a great way to celebrate our freedom, and with a little help, we can keep our water free of pollution. It's our water, our responsibility.
Welcome back. A familiar face has joined the city of Bridgeport as a part-time interim city administrator. Mayor Gail Byer says the city recently signed on Michelle Coolidge, who had been working with the city as a consultant. Byer told KNB News she anticipates Coolidge will continue to have an impact like what she had in her prior capacity.
She got the Chamber of Commerce back up and running, which was one of the things that I really wanted to see so that our business owners could have a voice in the local government and help with bringing more business to Bridgeport. So she was very instrumental on getting that going. She has started the process of getting us a land bank to deal with the many vacant abandoned homes in town that we can rehab into homes for families to help with the housing shortage that we have in town.
Byer says there are many other projects in the works that Coolidge will be able to help with. She says while Coolidge is stepping in on an interim basis, the city is still on the hunt for a full-time administrator and is taking applications. Well, for the first time, a mountain lion hunting season will take place in the Wildcat Hills after the Game and Parks Commission approved the proposal last week. Game and Parks is conducting genetic surveys in what will be the Wildcat Hills unit, and last year documented 24 of the cats in the region. Season 1 will take place starting January 2nd through the end of February next year, with a limit of 3 mountain lions and a sublimit of 2 females, whichever occurs first. The Wildcat Hills unit will encompass parts of Scottsbluff, Morrill, Cheyenne, Garden, Kimball, and Banner counties. And not one iota of property taxes to pay for K-12 education. That's Governor Jim Pillen's overall goal as he works on gaining support for a property tax relief plan and related special session. Pillen discussed the issue during Monday's statewide call-in show, saying the proposal that is slowly coming together would take a 3-pronged approach. He said the Nebraska Constitution is clear that it is the state's job to educate kids, so the state should provide the required K-12 funding.
Depending on the county, it'll vary, but most people's homes, 60% of their property tax is for K-12 education. The state funds K-12 education. That property tax goes to zero. So, and the beauty is, it's just like community college. It strengthens our schools.
Pillen said his plan would pay for the funding by broadening the sales tax as well as set hard caps on spending and make the state more competitive with surrounding states. Pillen says he'll call for a special session sometime between July 26th and August 15th.
Life is crazy. Pain is stressful. How can anybody concentrate with these busy schedules? Now you can. This is Ben Moravec coming to you from Hydrozen, a float therapy business right here in Scottsbluff. I'm here today to let you know we now have memberships for $49 monthly. You can guarantee yourself at least 1 float per month. You know how floating keeps your muscles relaxed, your joints relieved, and your brain clear to think? Now you can float at a reduced rate each month. Inquire today at hydrozenfloat.com or call us at 308-63-FLOAT. Hydrozen. Unplug and recharge.
This is KNEB.TV Ag News from the Scottsbluff Body and Paint Ag Desk. Scottsbluff Body and Paint, you're driving home our reputation.
I'm here with McKenna Fisher. She is the animal advocate on social media. She has a passion for sharing the truth about animal agriculture and advocating for our industry. And she is here to talk more about her passion and her projects. McKenna, welcome.
Hi, happy to be here.
So tell us a little bit about your background in agriculture and where your love for the industry comes from.
Yeah, well, I am a 5th generation beef cattle rancher. I go to school up in Chadron, but during the summers I live on my family's ranch up in Hershey. At Chadron, I am actually majoring in legal studies and rangeland management, so to kind of promote my interest in agriculture, kind of develop my knowledge. And yeah, I've just always been around this lifestyle. I've been rodeoing since I was little, 4-H, FFA, all that kind of stuff.
Awesome. Well, at what point did you decide that you wanted to take a hands-on role in educating the public about agriculture? And what led you to start your social media pages?
Yeah, so actually last summer I had a lot of free time, which is unusual living on a ranch, as I'm sure anybody knows. But I would be just spending some time on Facebook, TikTok, just looking through there. And I noticed that all of the agricultural stuff that I saw was kind of not really from people in the industry, just people outside of it that were really uneducated about what we do and had an opposition to this way of life just because they didn't know any better. And just seeing so much misinformation out there and lack of people like me sharing our stories, that's kind of what motivated me to start the Animal Advocate. I wanted people to be able to see that first person perspective of what we do in this industry because we're busy people. We have a lot going on in our lives and most of us don't take the time to advocate for ourselves online. So that's kind of my passion project is just getting our point of view out there to counter all that misinformation that exists.
Absolutely. There's certainly a lot of misinformation on multiple facets of agriculture, but specifically on the animal agriculture side. Why is it important that animal agriculturalists tell their story?
Because animal agriculture is ultimately what sustains all of us. All agriculture is important and it's the backbone of our society. And if people don't understand the importance of it, they won't support it. And if they don't support it, we can't support them. But we have to have that personal aspect. We have to be sharing our stories. They need to know that we are real people out there working hard to keep everybody fed, clothed, housed, all of those necessary things. And if they don't understand that there's real people working every day in this industry, why would they care about it or support us in any way?
Absolutely. Well, what has been the biggest thing that you have learned over the past year sharing your story on social media?
The biggest thing that I've learned is that most of the opposition towards our industry just comes from lack of information. It's so much easier if you, let's say, if you Google, I don't know, pig farming in America, the first five sources you'll see are from like PETA, HSUS, like all of these animal rights organizations putting their point of view out there, which is often incorrect. And there's just so little accurate information from our point of view. And so, if you don't know anything about the industry, even if you're not biased, if you're going to Google, all you're seeing is those biased sources, nothing factual. So, without having our point of view out there, these people just don't know any better. And they assume that what we're doing is wrong just because our story is not there for them to see.
Most definitely. Well, a big misconception from the public about animal rights in particular is just the distinction between what animal rights is and then what animal welfare is, which is, of course, what we subscribe
Exactly.
to in agriculture. Can you explain the key differences between those two ideologies?
Yeah, absolutely. Animal welfare is the foundation of animal agriculture. It's ensuring that these animals are happy, healthy, and well cared for throughout their lives. Animal rights, on the other hand, is about humanizing these animals and assuming that their wants and needs are the same as people. It's assuming that they function the same way, think the same way, feel the same way we do, and treating them like they're people rather than the animals that they are. And ultimately, rights is worse for the animal welfare than actual welfare is because we're not taking into account what these animals need. We're thinking about what we would want if we were in their place.
Most definitely. Very well said. So sharing your story online can be kind of intimidating because the internet, as we know, is the wild, wild west. So,
Oh, yeah.
what is some of the feedback that you've gotten from posting online, or what surprised you about sharing this sort of content?
Well, I've certainly received my share of hate online, which is nothing new. All of the other people doing what I do that I follow, they've all had the same encounters. But the more you post, the more you find that there are like minded individuals out there. And it was just shocking to see how many people have had the same struggles that I have, had the same experiences that I have, and they just had no way to share it because they don't have the technological capabilities to do so. So it's really comforting to know that I can kind of be the voice for the people like me that can't always spend time posting like this. And just the overwhelming amount of support I receive from those people is something that I certainly didn't expect, but it's been a true blessing.
Definitely. Well, we'll direct people on where they can find you on social media in a moment. But if you had to describe the type of content that you post, what kind of things are you posting online?
It's primarily infographics about the industry and fun facts. I do a lot of interviews with industry professionals. I interviewed the Star Cattle Company a while back, Amanda Radke, Nathan Morris of Morris Equine, just people like that sharing their stories about their aspects of the industry. So there's a lot of that factual information. I do Fun Fact Fridays. I address Myths of the Month, where I find common misinformation that's circling and I shut it down to the best of my ability. And those seem to be pretty popular. I found those shared on quite a few other sites. So just kind of getting the facts out there is what I specialize in.
Absolutely. Well, it's clear you are passionate about agriculture, but you are also a full-time college student. Elaborate on your studies and what your long-term goals are.
Yeah, so as I said before, I'm majoring in legal studies and rangeland management. And as of right now, I'm in the Rural Law Opportunities program at Chadron, which guarantees me preliminary admission to UNL's law school once I finish my undergraduate degree. So my current goal for the future is to be able to get my law degree and practice agricultural law. I'd like to focus in generational transitioning and kind of estate planning to help facilitate that transition between our older agricultural community and the new generation coming up. So being able to do that is a goal of mine and keep advocating for the people involved for sure.
Very cool. Well, give people the information. How can they follow along with what you're doing and the stories that you're telling?
Yeah, so I am on Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, and YouTube. All of those would be under the Animal Agvocate, and that's AGVOCATE. I thought that was a little play on words that I could utilize, and the handles are a little bit different for each one, but if you look that up, you'll find me right there. Its logo is a bright green longhorn steer with a couple pitchforks on either side, so it's pretty distinct.
Awesome. Very cool. Well, once again, that is McKenna Fisher, otherwise known as the Animal Advocate on social media. McKenna, thank you for the work that you're doing and for joining us today.
Yeah, thank you for having me. It's a passion of mine to do this.
Renewal by Andersen. Isn't it time to replace those old windows and doors? With mortgage interest rates where they are, investing in your home now rather than moving has never made more sense. Renewal by Andersen's legendary windows, ensemble entry doors, the entire Acclaim line of replacement windows will make your home so much more valuable, energy efficient, quieter, and secure. Please visit rbawyoming.com, call today, ask about great discounts and awesome financing options. New windows and doors from Renewal by Andersen. Isn't it time?
Welcome to Kelly's Liquor, your liquor cabinet. Whether you're a wine enthusiast, a whiskey sommelier, a tequila connoisseur, or you just love your beer, Kelly's has the best selection of what you're looking for. Family owned and operated since 1946 and right on 27th Street in Scottsbluff. Come see us today at Kelly's Liquor, your liquor cabinet. And remember to be a good neighbor. Don't drink and drive. Kelly's Liquor, West 27th Street in Scottsbluff.
Let's take a look at your community calendar, brought to you by Riverstone Bank. The community calendar is brought to you by Riverstone Bank. We're local and we love our community.
Better sleep and better health can be found at Western Sleep Medicine in Gering. Since 2006, Western Sleep Medicine has offered the lowest cost sleep testing either in their independent sleep laboratory or the privacy of your own home. You have control over your health care and your out-of-pocket cost. All insurance is accepted for a much lower cost than the regional option. If you need a sleep study, ask for Western Sleep Medicine. They've helped thousands of people over the years and want to help you. Western Sleep Medicine. Better sleep, better health.
Tired of feeling stuck? Not sure if you are on the right track? Platte Valley Bank can help keep your finances moving forward with checking account options to fit your lifestyle and an online account chooser to make finding the right account easy. Control your financial future with helpful budgeting tools and automatic savings plans. Now is the time to enjoy the ride with Platte Valley Bank. You belong here.
And finally tonight, a pair of brothers well known in the world of ag and livestock auctions will be recognized for the impact of their careers. Sean and Lex Madden will be inducted next month into the Cattle Marketing Hall of Fame. In careers influenced by their father, who owned sale barns in Lusk and Wheatland, both returned to the livestock auction world after college, teaming up for Madden Brothers Auction in the 1980s and eventually owning Torrington Livestock Markets, ranked yearly in the top 10 of cattle marketed in the nation. Lex won the World Livestock Auctioneering Championship in 1998, which was matched by Sean 3 years later, becoming the only brothers to have ever accomplished the feat. The induction ceremony takes place July 26th in Dodge City, Kansas. Well, that does it for us this time. Thank you so much for tuning in. Stay safe out there. We'll see you here next time.